it's off in the woods and it's quiet back there and nobody fools with it. So we go back there and catch some big ones right quick. Nice gator. That's a big old alligator.
Willie Edwards is known to many fans as one of the toughest and most skilled hunters on the popular television series Swamp People. On the screen, he appears calm, brave, and always ready to face the dangerous waters of the Louisiana swamp. Viewers often see him battling massive alligators, steering his boat through thick water plants, and working long days under the hot southern sun. His quiet personality and steady way of working have made him a favorite among fans of the show. However, the story of Willie Edwards is not only about hunting gators and living in the wild. Behind the cameras, his life has been filled with moments of deep sadness and heartbreaking loss. Many people who watch the show only see the strong and fearless hunter, but few truly understand the personal struggles he has faced over the years. Like many people who grow up in tough environments, Willie learned early that life in the swamp can be unpredictable. The same waters that provide food and work can also bring danger and tragedy. Despite his strength and determination, Willie has experienced losses that no person ever wishes to face. These tragedies shaped the man he became and influenced the quiet strength that fans now recognize on television. His story is not simply about survival in the swamp. It is also about emotional endurance, family bonds, and the courage to continue living even after experiencing painful loss. For many viewers, learning about Willie's personal hardships has created a deeper respect for him. It reminds people that behind every television personality is a real human being with real emotions and real struggles. The life of Willie Edwards began far from bright television lights and national attention. He was born and raised in the small community of Bayou in Louisiana, a place surrounded by marshlands, rivers, and thick forests. Growing up in such an environment meant that nature was always close, and the traditions of swamp life were a normal part of everyday living. Willie's father, Junior Edwards, was already known as an experienced alligator hunter long before television cameras arrived. From a very young age, Willie followed his father through the muddy waters of the swamp, learning the skills needed to survive and work in such a harsh environment. Life there was never easy. Families depended on the land and water for their income, which meant long days of hard physical labor. Hunting alligators was not simply a sport. It was a way of life that required patience, courage, and knowledge passed down through generations. Willie quickly learned how to read the movement of the water, how to handle hunting equipment safely, and how to remain calm even when facing a dangerous animal. These early lessons helped shape his character. The swamp taught him respect for nature, patience during difficult moments, and the importance of family teamwork. These qualities later became very visible when he appeared on television. Even when surrounded by cameras and producers, Willie never tried to act like a celebrity. Instead, he remained the same quiet and hard-working man who had grown up learning the traditions of the bayou in 2010. Everything changed when the History Channel introduced the world to the unique lifestyle of Louisiana's alligator hunters through the show Swamp People. The series quickly became popular because it showed a side of American life that many people had never seen before. Families who had lived in the swamp for generations suddenly found themselves sharing their lives with millions of viewers. Willie Edwards appeared on the show alongside his father, Junior, and together they became one of the most recognizable teams on the program. Their hunting style was different from many others. While some hunters relied heavily on modern equipment, Willie and his father often used traditional methods that had been passed down through their family for years. This approach made their scenes especially interesting for viewers who enjoyed watching authentic techniques rather than flashy entertainment. Over time, Willie developed his own reputation as a skilled hunter who could handle even the most difficult situations calmly. His ability to stay focused while wrestling massive alligators impressed many fans. However, fame did not change his personality. He remained a quiet man who spoke only when necessary and preferred to let his actions speak louder than words. While the show brought financial opportunities and recognition, it also placed the Edwards family in the public eye. Suddenly, many private parts of their lives became topics of discussion among fans and media outlets. For Willie, This attention sometimes made personal tragedies even more difficult because grief that might normally stay private became something people talked about online and in public conversations. One of the most painful tragedies connected to Willie Edwards involves the loss of his daughter, Michaela. This part of his story is especially heartbreaking because very little information has ever been shared publicly about her life or passing. Willie and his wife, Sherry, built their life together around family values and raising their children in the same traditions they had learned growing up. Their sons, little Willie and Landon, have occasionally appeared on television with their father, showing viewers the strong bond they share. However, their daughter Michaela was never seen on the show. Many fans did not even know she existed until small pieces of information slowly appeared online. At some point, it became known that Michaela had passed away when she was still very young. The details surrounding her death were never explained publicly, and the Edwards family chose to keep that painful chapter of their lives private. For parents, losing a child is often considered one of the most devastating experiences imaginable. It leaves a deep emotional wound that never completely disappears. Even though Willie rarely speaks about his personal feelings, people who follow his story understand that this loss must have been incredibly difficult for him and his wife. Their decision to remain silent about the details may simply reflect a desire to protect the memory of their daughter and preserve their family's privacy during such a painful time. The silence surrounding Michaela's passing has created a sense of mystery for many fans, but it also shows the deep respect the Edwards family has for their personal grief. In today's world, where people often share every part of their lives on social media, choosing to remain quiet about such a tragedy is unusual. However, grief is a deeply personal experience, and every family deals with it in their own way. Some people speak openly about their losses as a way of healing, while others prefer to keep those memories close to their hearts. For Willie and Sherry, silence may be their way of honoring their daughter's memory. Even though the world may never know the full story, it is clear that Michaela's life left a lasting mark on her family. Her parents continue to carry that memory with them every day. When viewers watch Willie work in the swamp, they see a strong and determined man. What they may not realize is that behind that strength is a father who has already endured one of life's greatest heartbreaks. The courage to keep moving forward after such a loss requires incredible emotional strength. It shows that the quiet resilience Willie displays on television is not just about hunting dangerous animals. It is also about surviving the emotional storms that life sometimes brings. Another devastating tragedy in Willie's life came with the sudden loss of his brother, Randy Dale Edwards. Brothers who grow up together in the swamp often develop a bond that goes beyond ordinary family relationships. They spend countless hours working side by side, sharing responsibilities, and learning the same survival skills from their parents. For Willie and Randy, this bond was built through years of shared experiences. They hunted together, helped their family with daily tasks, and supported each other during difficult times. Randy was known among friends and family as a hard-working man who respected the traditions of his upbringing. Although he did not appear on television as often as Willie, he remained an important part of the Edwards family. Sadly, Randy's life ended suddenly in a tragic car accident in Louisiana. Reports indicated that he was driving his truck when the vehicle crashed into a utility pole. The impact was severe, and Randy did not survive the accident. He was only 35 years old at the time of his death. Losing a sibling at such a young age is an incredibly painful experience. For Willie, it meant losing not only a brother, but also a lifelong companion who had shared many of his memories and struggles. The sudden nature of the accident made the tragedy even more shocking for the entire family. The death of Randy Edwards deeply affected the entire Edwards family. When someone passes away unexpectedly, it leaves behind unanswered questions and a sense of disbelief. Family members often struggle to accept that a person who was part of their daily life is suddenly gone forever. For Willie, the loss meant facing the reality that the brother he had grown up with would no longer be there during important moments in life. Every fishing trip, every hunting season, and every family gathering would feel different without Randy's presence. Friends and fans of the Edwards family shared messages of sympathy and support after hearing about the accident. Many people who had followed Willie's story on television felt a strong emotional connection to him and wanted to express their condolences. This support reminded the family that they were not alone in their grief. Even though strangers could never fully understand the depth of their loss, their kindness still provided comfort during a difficult time. Over time, life slowly continues after tragedy, but the memory of a lost loved one never disappears. Willie likely carries a memory of his brother with him every time he enters a swamp, remembering the days they once spent working together. Despite these heartbreaking experiences, Willie Edwards has continued to move forward with his life. His strength comes not only from his personal determination, but also from the support of his family. His wife, Sherry, has stood beside him through both joyful and painful moments, helping maintain stability within their household. Together they have focused on raising their sons and preserving the traditions of their family. The swamp remains a central part of their lives, providing both a livelihood and a sense of connection to their ancestors. Each new hunting season represents another chance to continue the legacy that previous generations built. For Willie, working in the swamp may also provide a form of healing. Nature has a way of offering quiet moments for reflection, allowing people to process emotions while continuing with daily responsibilities. When he navigates the calm waters at sunrise or watches the mist rise over the bayou, those peaceful moments may remind him of both the beauty and fragility of life. Today, fans continue to watch Willie Edwards on Swamp People, admiring his skill, courage, and dedication to his family's traditions. While many viewers are drawn to the excitement of alligator hunting, those who know his story understand that his true strength comes from something deeper. Willie is not just a television personality or a skilled hunter. He is a man who has faced personal tragedy and chosen to keep living with dignity and determination. His story serves as a reminder that even the strongest people carry hidden struggles. The quiet resilience he shows every day reflects the lessons he learned growing up in the swamp. Respect nature, value family, and never give up even when life becomes painfully difficult. Through loss and hardship, Willie Edwards continues to honor the memory of those he loved while building a future for the family that remains by his side. The life of Willie Edwards did not suddenly become difficult only after tragedy entered his family. In many ways, his entire life had already been shaped by hardship long before the cameras of Swamp People ever appeared in the Louisiana bayous. Growing up in the swamp meant living in a world where nature could be both a provider and a threat. The environment itself demanded toughness. Heavy rains could flood entire areas. Storms could destroy homes, and the dangerous wildlife of the swamp was always present. For young Willie, this world was normal. Instead of growing up in busy cities filled with tall buildings and crowded streets, he grew up surrounded by water, trees, and animals. From an early age, he learned how to navigate a small boat through narrow channels and thick plants floating on the water. His father, Junior Edwards, believed strongly in teaching his children the value of hard work. Junior did not believe in easy shortcuts. If something needed to be done, he expected his family to do it properly and with patience. Willie spent countless mornings waking up before sunrise to help prepare for hunting trips. These early experiences were not simply lessons in hunting animals. They were lessons in discipline and responsibility. A child raised in the swamp quickly understands that carelessness can be dangerous. One mistake around a large alligator or in deep water can lead to serious injury. Because of this, Willie developed a calm and focused personality. Instead of rushing or acting impulsively, he learned to observe his surroundings carefully. These habits later became one of his greatest strengths on television, where viewers often noticed how calm he remained even when facing enormous alligators thrashing beside the boat. The bond between Willie and his father also played an important role in shaping the man he became. For many families who live in traditional communities, knowledge is passed from one generation to the next through daily work and shared experiences. Junior Edwards was not only Willie's father, but also his teacher and mentor. He showed him how to set lines for catching alligators, how to read subtle movements in the water, and how to respect the dangerous creatures they hunted. Junior believed that hunting was not simply about catching animals for profit. It was also about understanding the balance of nature and respecting the environment that provided their livelihood. When Willie eventually appeared on television, viewers quickly noticed a strong partnership between father and son. Their relationship was built on mutual respect rather than constant conversation. Often they worked together quietly, each understanding what needed to be done without many words. This quiet teamwork reflected the values of swamp life, where actions are often more important than long discussions. Watching them work together gave audiences a glimpse into a traditional way of life that many people had never seen before. The Edwards family represented a culture that had survived for generations in Louisiana's wetlands, maintaining customs that were slowly disappearing in modern society. For Willie, these traditions were not just interesting history. They were the foundation of his identity and the source of the strength that helped him endure personal tragedies later in life. As the popularity of Swamp People continued to grow, Willie Edwards became one of the recognizable faces of the show. Each season, viewers watched him and his father travel deeper into the swamp during alligator hunting season, setting lines and facing dangerous situations that could easily turn deadly. The show highlighted the risk involved in this profession. Alligators can grow to enormous sizes and possess incredible strength. When one of these animals becomes trapped on a hunting line, it can thrash violently, shaking the boat and creating a moment of intense danger for the hunters trying to capture it. Willie's calm personality made him particularly effective in these situations. Instead of panicking, he carefully observed the animal's movements and waited for the right moment to act. This patience impressed many viewers and demonstrated the experience he had gained through years of working in the swamp. However, the show also revealed something deeper about Willie's character. Even when facing danger, he rarely displayed fear or anger. Instead, he focused on completing the task in front of him. This quiet determination became one of the qualities that fans admired most about him. Yet while viewers saw him as a fearless hunter, they could not see the emotional challenges he carried within his personal life. Fame sometimes creates the illusion that a person's life is exciting and successful in every way. But for Willie Edwards, the reality was far more complicated. Behind the scenes, he was dealing with the same struggles and heartbreaks that many ordinary families experience. One aspect of Willie's life that often brings warmth to his story is his dedication to his own children. After growing up learning traditional skills from his father, Willie naturally wanted to pass those same lessons to the next generation. His sons, little Willie and Landon, occasionally appeared on the show, working alongside him in the swamp. Watching them together allowed viewers to see another side of Willie's personality. While he was usually quiet and serious while hunting, he also showed moments of patience and pride when teaching his sons how to handle equipment and navigate the swamp safely. These moments reminded viewers that the traditions of swamp life were continuing through a new generation. Just as Junior had once guided Willie through the difficult lessons of hunting and survival, Willie was now guiding his own children. This cycle of learning and teaching is an important part of many traditional communities. Skills are not learned in classrooms, but through direct experience with family members who have practiced them for years. For Willie, sharing these experiences with his sons likely brought both joy and reflection. Every lesson he taught them connected the past with the future, ensuring that the knowledge of the swamp would not disappear with his generation. Yet within this proud family tradition remained the quiet memory of his daughter Michaela, whose life ended too soon. Her absence must have been deeply felt during family gatherings and special moments that should have included all of Willie's children together. Grief often changes the way people see the world around them. For someone like Willie Edwards, who spends much of his life in the natural environment of the swamp, these changes may appear in subtle ways. The quiet waters of the bayou, the sounds of birds calling from distant trees, and the slow movement of mist rising from the swamp in the early morning can create moments of reflection. Many people who work closely with nature say that these peaceful surroundings provide time to think about life, memories, and the people who are no longer present. It is easy to imagine that Willie has experienced many such moments while traveling through the waterways he has known since childhood. In those quiet hours before the sun fully rises, a person often remembers both the good and painful parts of their life. For Willie, these memories likely include the joyful days of learning from his father, the adventures shared with his brother Randy, and the love he felt for his daughter Michaela. Although grief never completely disappears, time can slowly transform it into a quieter form of remembrance. Instead of constant pain, the memories of loved ones become part of a person's strength. They remind someone why it is important to keep moving forward and continue building a life filled with purpose. Another challenge that sometimes comes with television fame is dealing with rumors and speculation from the public. Over the years, several stories circulated online claiming that Willie Edwards had been seriously ill, including rumors suggesting he might have cancer. These claims spread quickly across social media platforms, causing concern among fans who admired him on Swamp People. However, there has never been any official confirmation that Willie suffered from such an illness. In the modern age of the internet, rumors can easily grow larger than the truth. A single unverified story can quickly be repeated by hundreds of websites, creating confusion for people trying to understand what is real. For public figures like Willie, these rumors can be frustrating because they involve deeply personal topics. Health issues are often private matters that families prefer to discuss only with close friends and relatives. When strangers begin spreading stories without confirmation, it can create unnecessary worry and misunderstanding. In Willie's case, it appears that these rumors were simply examples of how quickly misinformation can travel online. Despite the speculation, he continued appearing on the show and working in the swamp, demonstrating the same strength and determination that viewers had come to expect from him. Through all these experiences, Willie Edwards has remained a symbol of resilience for many fans of Swamp People. His life story reminds people that strength is not only about physical ability. Catching large alligators and navigating dangerous waters certainly requires courage, but emotional strength is often even more difficult to maintain. Losing loved ones, facing unexpected tragedy, and dealing with public attention can challenge any person's sense of stability. Yet Willie has continued to live his life with quiet determination, focusing on family, work, and the traditions he values most. For viewers watching from their homes, his story offers an important lesson about perseverance. Even when life becomes painful or uncertain, it is possible to continue moving forward with dignity and purpose. The swamp that once shaped Willie as a young boy remains the same place where he now works as an experienced hunter and father. Its waters hold memories of both joy and sorrow, reminding him of the long journey that brought him to where he is today. As the years went on, Willie Edwards became a strong and respected member of his family's team. He was no longer just a young boy learning the basics. He had grown into a skilled hunter who understood the dangers and responsibilities of the job. On the television show Swamp People, viewers could see how serious and focused he was while working in the swamp. Alligator hunting is not just about strength. It requires patience, knowledge, and quick thinking. Willie showed that he had all these qualities. He learned how to read the water and understand behavior of the animals they hunted. Sometimes the team had to travel deep into the swamp before they could find a good catch. The hot weather, thick mud, and dangerous wildlife made the job even harder. But Willie never complained. He treated the work with respect because he knew it was part of his family's tradition. He also understood that their way of life depended on these skills. Fans who watched the show often admired Willie because he stayed calm in difficult situations. Even when things became risky, he focused on the task in front of him. His steady personality made him an important part of the Edwards family team. People who watched the show could see how much trust his family placed in him. Trust is very important when people are working in dangerous conditions. One mistake in the swamp can cause serious harm. That is why Willie worked hard to prove that he could be trusted. Over time, his experience and confidence grew stronger. He continued learning from his father, while also developing his own style of hunting. This balance between learning and independence helped shape Willie into the skilled hunter that viewers saw on the show. The audience also appreciated how respectful he was toward nature. The swamp is not just a workplace for the Edwards family. It is their home and part of their identity. Willie understood that protecting the environment was just as important as making a living from it. This respect for nature was another reason why fans felt connected to him. They saw a young man who honored his family, respected the swamp,